Hello, and this is my professional commentary for a 6-lesson unit of work for a foundation class. The context of this class is there are 22 foundation students, 12 boys and 10 girls. When it comes to children's learning abilities, we have actually a mixed group. Majority of the children are at the average level of learning, and we have one child with behavioural needs and is awaiting diagnostic results for ADHD. This particular child often can be extremely loud during different times and needs clear behavioural expectations and is best behaved when he is engaged in stimulating activities. One of the strategies implemented for this child is using a stress ball while he's on the floor, and this keeps his mind stimulated. Children come into this unit of work with a range of prior knowledge regarding emotions. Firstly, all children in this class can play with other children. All children prefer to play with a friend than on their own, have an awareness of sharing, are developing in their abilities to be independent, can sit on the floor for longer than 10 minutes when engaged, and are very curious about the world around them. However, in this class, some children are still learning to share when it comes to their favourite activities and are working on reasoning and regulating their emotions. The overall aim of this unit of work is for children to have a clear understanding of their emotions and feelings, how these can be affected by the actions we do each and every day, and promotes awareness in how our actions can affect other people's feelings and emotions. At the beginning of the first lesson, the implementation of an ICT resource is used because it can provide children meaningful, relevant, and developmentally appropriate contact and interaction with emotions in a way that provokes them to interact through singing and movement. Additionally, the use of the video helps to keep children with behavioural needs engaged because they are stimulated through the sounds and movement of the characters while also learning. The incorporation of the socio-dramatic play straight after the class discussion allows children the opportunity to explore movement of their body and facial expressions to explore the different emotions that we may feel. During this section, the teacher must encourage children throughout the different emotions to confirm their movements and encourage their learning. This could be as simple as smiling and saying "good job." Finally, the individual task at the end is used as a formative assessment means, which helps to monitor their understanding of facial expressions that are associated with different emotions. Lesson 2 explores children moving away from just stating their emotions and individual feels to now understanding how our body reflects our emotion. In order to support this, the use of the picture book in the introduction part of the lesson allows children to explore the imagery in the picture book that brings the pages to life, which also serves as a visual roadmap to the story and allows them to build comprehension into emotions without the use of verbal means. Therefore, allowing children to build on their understanding into identifying physical characteristics and body language that we use to display different emotions. During this stage, it is important that as the teacher, we are constantly engaging children through exploring the individual pages and provoking them with questions, including does the bear look grumpy and why might the characters feel this way? This helps children to feel confident in talking about what they see on the page and allows children to build on understanding what they are reading. The hands-on activity of colouring a bear mask allows children to now take on a role and express different feelings through drama and expression, similar to the visuals in the picture book, but again now bringing the characters in the book alive. Additionally, it helps to support the behaviour of children because it allows for creativity and a sense of enjoyment because they can have fun while taking on that role of the character. This also serves as a formative and assessment approach because it can be a way to visually see how students are making progress with understanding body language and how we can use body to display different emotions. Additionally, allows for verbal feedback to be provided on the spot if a child may not be displaying the correct characteristics or if they are. Lesson 3 builds on further being able to understand how characters from text can portray different emotions through the use of adding particular colours to their illustrations. This is supported through the virtual reading of the Colour Monster book and allows for engagement in how particular authors use colour to emphasise emotion. As the teacher, it would be vital to pause the video after each page and discuss the physical features of that particular emotion and what colour represents how that monster is feeling. The class brainstorm after the video allows for children to further consolidate their knowledge around stating descriptive emotions, being able to link this with a possible colour, and be also used as an anchor chart throughout the unit. The blank monster activity allows children to then take this knowledge and colour their very own monster, taking their time to choose colours that represent different emotions and think about the key facial features this monster should have. During the group share time at the end, it allows children to communicate their monster verbally and justify their reasons behind the colour choice. This allows for continual monitoring to occur to make sure children understand emotions can also be represented by colours. Additionally, it promotes confidence amongst children in being able to share their work. Therefore, positive feedback during this is important and can be done through clapping and verbal feedback. Lesson 4 is centred around building on the understanding of what the terms inclusive and exclusive mean and how these can generate different emotions. The class discussion enables children to think of different situations and how our actions can make someone feel a certain way, and helps to think of how Gerald the giraffe may be feeling and relating this to how they would also feel. It would be vital to reinforce classroom behavioural expectations here, just to make sure all children feel safe to share their ideas and their stories. Additionally, it helps to problem solve and discuss ideas on how we can change the exclusion feelings of someone and how we can overcome this to make someone feel included. The activity involves children working together in small groups to colour in a section of We Are All Included poster, and this will be displayed in the classroom. The strategy of working in a group environment for this activity helps to promote the understanding of the terms that we have just learnt and promotes inclusiveness in the classroom, and as a class promoting that you want everyone to feel happy and safe to contribute their ideas and also to work as a team. We want to encourage all children to work together on this classroom display. Additionally, this builds the foundations for the next class where they'll be working together and will be looking at different situations and have to examine how someone may be feeling. Lesson 5 is centred around group work that incorporates mixed learning abilities. This classroom design for the activity promotes learners working together as a team to solve a problem, complete a task with a common goal. In this lesson, children are required to work together to act out the different scenarios that may promote inclusion and exclusion, and also in another activity, playing an emotion board game. Cooperative learning allows for all children to be included, no matter what level of ability they are at, allows for children to appreciate different understandings and promote positive relationships inside the classroom. The scenario activity builds on children being able to take on a perspective of how that person is feeling and then be able to demonstrate this. Working in this team environment for this activity helps students to hear and see different psychological responses elicited by various emotions and how this may be different to someone else in the group. As the teacher, it will be important to read out all the scenario cards to the children before the activity starts and demonstrating how to roll a dice and counting to the numbers 1 to 6, which ensures children are being safe when rolling the dice, and it also allows for numeracy comprehension to be built. The board game activity further supports children being able to demonstrate communing a time that they felt an emotion through storytelling. The teacher can walk around the room and complete observations during this activity, which ensures children are working well as a team and demonstrating a suitable response in relation to that particular card. This lesson forms the foundation to the summative lesson that will be given to children in the next lesson. It allows children to demonstrate orally and through role playing what it feels like to be excluded and included, and also allows for a reflection on time that they have may felt these different emotions. These are key learning outcomes that are assessed on in the next lesson. The summative assessment is given to children in Lesson 6 of the unit and is an individual task because as the teacher we want the opportunity to see how well the students have mastered their learning outcomes. The worksheet is an open-ended task that doesn't have one correct answer, and this allows all children to incorporate their understanding. Children have to draw a picture of what it feels like to be included and what it feels like when you are excluded. This helps to support students in being able to show the learning outcome of identifying and describing emotions of people and being able to represent different emotions that take into consideration the different responses that people feel in different situations. At the beginning of the lesson, children through verbal discussion will recap all the points that have been covered over the last 6 lessons, including stating the different emotions, the colours that best represent different feelings, highlighting different emotions that you feel when you are in different situations. This helps to consolidate learning before the assessment tasks. Explicit teaching will be implemented here through showing children exactly what needs to be done using this worksheet, including reading out the different sentences, demonstrating where they have to draw, and modelling on the board a sentence structure that they have written at the bottom of the 2 sections. The assessment task allows for differentiation because it allows for verbal and non-verbal means of communication. An example of this is for children who may have difficulties with handwriting. It implements an exit strategy approach. This exit strategy is implemented as a teaching approach that explores children being able to verbally explain what they have done and drawn, and also allows them the opportunity to read their sentence, which can be used as a formal measure into seeing how well students have understood the topics of emotions. Additionally, builds on allowing students to think critically.